let's just be honest, they're all underrated aside from Doom. The Fantastic Four, Reed, Sue, Ben and Johnny. They may have been Marvel's first family, but the sad fact is they've absolutely been left at the wayside in the public eye. Despite literally giving birth to the Marvel Universe, I'd wager that less than 5% of people on the whole planet would call the Four their favourite superheroes. Some would even go as far as to claim their only worthwhile contribution to the Marvel Universe is Doctor Doom, and as cool as Doom can be, he's far from the only boss bad guy to frighten the Four. So, we're going to take a look at some lesser discussed Fantastic Foes, and we're going to determine if they deserve to be better recognised. Welcome to Underrated Fantastic Four Villains. There's a question mark, because we don't know yet if they're actually underrated. They might all be shit. We're starting off in Fantastic Four number 13, and we're starting off quite strongly with Ivan Kragoff, the Red Ghost, and his partners in crime, do not laugh, the Super Apes. We've actually already seen the Red Ghost on this channel once before. He was so evil, he forced the Unicorn to team up with his most hated foe, Iron Man. Let's see what this old man's beginnings are, and judge for ourselves how threatening he truly is. Reed Richards is actually a menace. He's always screwing around with dangerous crap, and he never even warns his family. Today, he's developed a new type of rocket fuel derived from the energies of fallen meteorites. That'll surely help America win the space race. All he's got to do now is harness unique radiation from the blue side of the moon. To put it short, the Fantastic Four are once again jetting off into space because clearly they didn't learn the lesson last time. Meanwhile, behind the Iron Curtain, Madman Ivan Kragoff is preparing his monkey minions for space travel. His gorilla drives the spaceship, his orangutan is the mechanic, and his baboon is the muscle. Personally, I'd have made the gorilla the muscle, but what do I know? This absolute lunatic's had more or less the same idea as Reed, so the space race has never been more racy. Simultaneously, the F4 and the Banana Bunch blast off to the stars, and maybe the four heroes did learn from last time because their ship has cosmic ray shielding. Kragoff's doesn't. He actually wants to get space cancer. No, he's studied the Fantastic Four's origins, and he wishes to recreate their power for himself. Part 2 already, part 2. Menace on the Moon. Oh dude, we're doing title cards, hang on a minute. From the window of their spaceship, the F4 spot the rival rocket and they send their Human Torch out to check. Don't worry, he's got an oxygen suit so he can flame on. Would you get in a spaceship with a man who can explode into flames with 2 words? I probably wouldn't. I'll bet you this absolutely blows Johnny's mind though, mate. He looks in the ship and he sees an old man and 3 apes. What the hell is going on in this spaceship? And guess what? It's about to get even stranger. The 3 monkeys have developed fantastical powers of their own. These are no longer mere apes. These are super apes. The gorilla, super strength. I feel like he maybe already had that though. The baboon, metamorphosis. The orangutan, my god, he's like a monkey Magneto. Johnny dashes back to Reed, Sue and Ben, because when the situation's this bizarre, only Reed Richards has a chance to make sense of it. If it's this easy to get superpowers, why does the government waste time with super soldiers and Iron Man suits? Just send some soldiers into the atmosphere. Anyway, we're here now on the moon, but it's not actually just cheese. They land upon the destroyed remains of a dead alien city. That's cool as hell. Our heroes explore this destroyed lunar city and get so excited they leave poor Ben behind. Thing's probably my favourite of the 4, so this upsets me. They basically leave him to kick rocks, but wait a minute, that's no rock, it's the Super Apes. Kragoff too has developed superpowers. He can shift his body into an invisible, intangible form. Taking the name Red Ghost even though he wears green, he moves to attack. But then, a booming voice halts the battle before it begins. The Watcher, such an important figure in Cosmic Marvel, first debuts in the Red Ghost issue. Bloody hell, he stops the Ghost's assault because he's got a grim warning for the people of Earth. Watcher's been around for a long time, he's seen war tear planets apart, and he knows of the tensions on Earth between America and Russia, and he couldn't give less of a shit. Just don't bring that crap to his doorstep. Just do the Fantastic Four versus Kragoff's Kong crew. The winner can claim the moon, he's not arsed. Ben regroups and lets the gang in on what's been going on as the Watcher whisks them away to the battlefield. This caption claims this will be the most crucial battle of their career, but that's a bit overblown. It's just one guy and his monkey mates. Duel in the Dead City, that is a sick title, dude. The corpse of this alien metropolis is to be the arena for our superpower showdown. Reed, the hippie, doesn't see why they can't just hold hands with Kragoff and take one giant leap for mankind together. But Kragoff's been talking shit all day and needs someone to shut him up. Reed's actually the first to fall because Red Ghost is packing heat. Well, packing cold, really. Hang on, he wants to steal the moon, he has a freeze ray. Is Kragoff Gru? The remaining 4 fight back, but the shapeshifting baboon becomes asbestos and gives Johnny cancer, while the gorilla manhandles the thing. Why has he got to kidnap Sue? Why does every bad guy have to kidnap Sue? Kragoff legs it with Miss Storm, and after thawing out Reed, the Fantastic 3 give chase. Thing and Torch throw together a makeshift rocket using old machinery and Johnny's flame to catch up to the Super Soviets, while Reed sits down and thinks about their biggest problem. Even if they do catch Kragoff, his powers make him intangible. How'd you harm something you can't touch? The Fantastic Four are family, while Red Ghost sees his apes as tools. He keeps them hungry to invoke loyalty, and so Susan pops the force bubble between them and the food. With no reason to work for the Ghost anymore, the apes betray their master, and suddenly it's 1 on 4. Red Ghost doesn't stand a ghost of a chance anymore, so he ransacks the Watcher's home, desperate to find a way to win. But mate, that's the Watcher's house. He's fuming at getting home invaded by this weirdo, so he bullies him a little bit. He chucks him through time and space until the Fantastic Four catch him in a paralysis beam that Reed invented. Ghost busted! Oh no, not yet, sorry. Watcher rings the bell and declares the 4 the victors, but the Super Apes return and free their master. Ooh, but don't thank them yet, Kragoff. The Mad Monkeys want revenge on their bad dad, chasing him away as a laugh track plays in the background. And I thought DC loved the monkey villains. Oh, let me say now, by the way, I know apes aren't monkeys, because monkeys have tails. I just like saying monkey. Stan Lee's burning hatred of Russian people aside, this guy was actually quite fun. Goofy as hell, yeah, but fun. He trained a gorilla to fly a spaceship, successfully recreated the Fantastic Four's origins for himself, and he was important enough that the Watcher took notice of him. Fair play, mate. Absolutely unhinged though. Like, did he not trust humans to be his crew? Did he specifically train apes because then there'd be no question as to who's in charge? He gave him quite a cool plot as well, a long forgotten alien city on the other side of the moon. That's a baller idea. I think this is where the X-Men Phoenix saga finishes as well. Hardcore dude, Kragoff started that. I probably wouldn't call Red Ghost fantastic, but alongside his super apes, he certainly was 4. Who's next? Fantastic Four issue. Jesus Christ, what the hell am I looking at here? Ah, get it away, get it away. Puppet Master, you creepy bastard. I'll be seeing this in my nightmares. The Fantastic Four are being dicks to Ben again. Not letting him into Reed's lab when he just wants to hang out. Keeping secrets from the Thing. Is he not a cherished member of the world's greatest superhero family? Nuts to this, Thing decides. He actually quits the Fantastic Four over this. Ben, I'm on your side, but that might just be a bit of an overreaction. Then again, while the other 3 have seen fame and fortune since getting their powers, he's been getting the shit end of the stick from the very start. You know what? Go ahead, you ugly rock bastard. Live life your way. Sue tries to talk to Ben, but their heart-to-heart is interrupted by what seems to be an attempted suicide. Can you still say that word on YouTube? Susan summons the 4 using her signal flare gun, and hilariously, Reed just tries to stretch and catch the fella, but he comes up just a smidge short. He's already stretched raw city blocks, he couldn't manage a little bit more. Human Torch has a go as well, but something is off with this poor fella. He shows no emotion, like a robot, or a zombie, or a puppet. And that's because of this creepy bastard down here. Baldy is voodoo dolling this poor fella. Torch rescues the man, but by ruining his playtime, Johnny incurs the wrath of the Puppet Master. Puppet Master's not alone in his toy shop. His blind stepdaughter Alicia worries about her caregiver, but he doesn't seem to worry about her very much. Because the Four saved his victim, Puppet Master makes them his next targets. He crafts a voodoo doll of the thing, and that's all it takes for his weird magic power to compel Ben Grimm to his workshop. He didn't need a lock of hair or a toenail or nothing. Overpowered really, mate. Susan follows her stone-faced friend and falls right into the palm of the Puppet Master. Hold on. Alicia can sense heartbeats. Stan, not every blind person's Daredevil. Unless... The puppet creeper's actually a sneaky bastard, because he fills the room with knockout gas on the off chance Sue Storm followed Ben, and get onto this, he was right and she did. Now he's got half the Fantastic Four in his grasp already. Why is it always Sue gets kidnapped? Just because she's a woman? Don't worry, he doesn't molest her, but he does dress his daughter up as the Invisibitch. Puppet Seat Sniffer sends Alicia away with the thing, ready to enact his revenge upon the Fantastic Four. Good! Get him off me screen, please. The mind-controlled thing has a showdown with Johnny and Reed, but Reed is Ben's best friend. He knows something isn't right with his boulder-brained buddy, and fortunately, he's got just the thing to smooth out Ben's rocks. And I do mean literally, this is why Ben wasn't allowed in the lab before, so he didn't spoil the surprise that Reed has finally concocted a cure. Finally, Ben can be Ben again. He can be normal, a human being. For 5 seconds. The serum is a dud, and the thing comes back in force. But hey, Reed tried. This restores Ben's confidence in his pal. They're friends again, and the Fantastic Four are back, baby. Also, Ben pulls Alicia. Is there something we're forgetting? Ah, shit, yeah. Puppet Masturbator still holds Sue Storm hostage, but now he's also voodooed a dude into releasing all the inmates at a nearby state prison. But I've read ahead and it's just regular goons. No one with a costume or powers like Electro or the Matador shows up. Lucky for the Fantastic Four. Susan's escape attempt is diddled good and hard by her captor and his Invisible Woman action figure. What do you reckon he does with this action figure when no one's around it? But before he gets his creepy fingers on the real-life Sue Storm, she lets loose the Fantastic Flare, summoning her family to save her. Puppet Wanker has them take on a robot, but this is the Fantastic Four, mate, come on. I'm so baffled by this man's powers. It's not just voodoo dolls, it seems, because here, he's mentally controlling a puppet flying horse, and that means it actually can fly. Does he give life to inanimate objects, or is he mind controlling through effigies? Or is it both? What is we've not even seen an origin, he just started doing this. The men rescue the woman and clean up at the prison, but the puppet licker escapes to puppet another day. With all his crimes undone, this sicko still has one plot to play. Though she now knows the madness of her stepfather, Alicia is still at his mercy, and here comes the creepy bastard now. His final play is to use this custom action figure of himself with royal blood action. This figurine will make Puppet Molester king of the world. Even the frantic Fantastic Four will bow. Then the idiot drops his toy and falls out the window. Absolute clown. Absolute creep. I'm so glad he's dead. Right, this fella 100% touches children. You can see it in his eyes. I'd rather go 3 minutes with Bonesaw than 3 seconds with this creep. Action figures are cool as hell, so I don't know why Marvel made the guy whose powers promoted action figures so disturbing. And why was he so overpowered? His abilities kept changing. At the start, he was doing voodoo doll shit. Then by the end, he was bringing toys to life. Put this sex offender on the do not return list. He makes my skin crawl. Quick, please. Can we please move on to the next one? Know what? This fella looks like a Klansman. I'll still take him over the child molester, thanks. Next up is the hate monger, and do me a favour, don't dare reveal his true identity after reading this tale. Nick Fury guest stars in this one. Can you believe Marvel whitewashed him for the comics? What's that about? New York City is being menaced by the most dangerous kind of criminal. One who knows the legal system. Hate monger has been spreading some shit because no actual laws have been broken. He's getting away scot-free. A very inconspicuously dressed FF investigates at the behest of a pissed off Ben and stumble upon one of the monger's speeches inciting a riot in his followers. He wants all the foreigners off American soil right now, even if his overexcited crowd of believers have to spill blood to do it. Of course the Four step in to save the day, but this is the opportunity Hate Monger's been waiting for. He blasts the heroes with his ingeniously diabolical H-ray, and the H stands for hatred. Now, the world's greatest heroes are so suddenly pissed off, they turn on each other. I feel like every issue we read has had the Thing turning on the others. Are we sure he's not the problem? This time, the whole quartet are at each other's throats. And it's a dark day for the people in New York as the Fantastic Four, the city's favourite heroes, go their separate ways. It's bad news for everyone but the hate monger, who knows that not even the Reed Richards super squad can resist his hatred ray. Now, his true mission may begin. Flying solo, Reed returns to his lab to find one of the few friends he still has, Colonel Nicholas Fury. But this isn't a social call. In the faraway land of San Gusto, a country America's been building up for democratic purposes, the people the USA were helping have suddenly turned on their benefactors. The country's done for without the US aid, but they're just refusing, so Reed's gotta go down and... I don't know actually, what's he expect Reed to do? Figure out why they're kicking off? Because like, he's not like a senator. What the hell's Reed gonna do? Send Captain America? The rest of the Four catch their science jet rocketing off, and although they're fuming, they don't want Reed to have all the fantastic fun. They reconverge at their old headquarters to find Fury isn't just in their feelings. He's in their home, with a mission. He tells them that Reed wants all the glory for himself, so they'd better get their rocky blonde red hot asses to San Gusto, with gusto. One Eye Nick has already sussed out that the hate monger is behind the hero's newfound hate, and he's open that another shot at the Klansman looking clown will rekindle their friendship. Meanwhile, the monger himself follows them to San Gusto just in case they cock up his carefully laid plan. Reed has already landed, and we see some solo Mr. Fantastic shenanigans. Little known secret, Reed is funny, dude. He stretches a stick of dynamite into enemy territory. He nicks the missiles from a moving jet, and prepare yourself for this one. He pretends to be the road, and then he strikes when the rebels walk on him. Never let anyone tell you Mr. Fantastic is lame. But as goofy as his actions are, the anger in his heart clouds his mind. Reed falls for a trap set by the hate monger. And of course, being a supervillain, Monger doesn't just kill Reed, no, god no. He's got to explain his evil plan. He's going to blanket the earth in his hatred rays and plunge the planet into chaos. Oh shit, it's Colonel Fury. Nick kicks some ass and forces the villain to hand over the anger antidote. But before they can apprehend the monger, he starts to make his escape. Remember the name on the cover of this book? Fantastic Four, mate. There's still 3 other heroes hanging about, and now Reed's got the remedy to their rage. He brings them all back to the side of righteousness. Now again, Reed essentially defeats all of his teammates on his own. Look how he catches Sue. He puffs up and ensnares her in himself. That's kinky. Now the 4 are reunited, it's time to give the hate monger something to cry about. Colonel Fury, alongside the reunited Fantastic Four, make jokes of hate monger's men. They overpower the gunman, and thanks to Sue, he misses another shot of his 8-ray, bathing his own men in the ray of rage. His own soldiers turn on him, shooting the hate monger dead. How ironic. So, Through the carefully placed clues peppered throughout the story, have you figured out the secret identity of the hate monger? Let's say it together. 3, 2, 1. That's right! Adolf Hitler! Ooh, all along it was that cheeky little rascal Hitler. Oh Adolf, what are we gonna do with you? So yeah, I mean, the power to force rage in your opponent sounds like a threat for anyone who's not the Hulk. We've seen similar powers to this from the likes of Madcap, and they were tricky, because you can't just punch him away. But I wouldn't really call Hitler fantastic. Did he ever find out that Ben Grimm's Jewish? Bet that would have pissed him off. That might explain why Ben looks so terrified in this panel here. This is like his worst nightmare, really, isn't it? If we learned anything from World War II, it's that Hitler's quite hard to beat. But we've got one more villain yet. Let's crack on with the Impossible Man. For our final bad guy, we've got a goofy one. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Why is the Fantastic Four backing away helplessly from the Impossible Man? Let's see. Ooh, the intro page claims he's absolutely more powerful than the Fantastic Four. But how can that be? He looks so stupid. Well, actually, he looks a little bit like the Martian Manhunter and he kicks ass. If Impossible Man's half as funny as John Jones, we should be in for a good time. Out of nowhere, he appears, as if manifesting into our reality by sheer force of will. Impossible Man makes landfall on Earth 616. He's looking to hang out a while, but to do that he's gonna need money. Luckily, these nice homeless men tell him the bank just loves giving money away. How many times a week do you think the NYPD get a call that some knobhead in green and purple's robbing the bank? Impossible Man seems to be somewhat magical. He can do anything he sets his mind to, be it transform into a rocket or shrink to the size of a pin. Police are useless against the silly spaceman, so they get on the blower to the Fantastic Four. There's the sick bastard now, eating some watermelon. Get him, thing! But just who is this impossible invader? He's on holiday on Earth from his home planet of Pop-Up, where organisms such as he can shift into whatever form they can think of in order to survive the dangers of their world. The annoying alien's disregard for Earth customs rubs Ben the wrong way, but this time, clobbering time goes awfully wrong as the shape-shifting Starboy armours up. In fact, none of the crew can touch Impossible Man. He liquidizes the Human Torch, stays out of Reed's reach, and just before Sue Storm can catch him, he pops off about how rude his hosts are being. I hope you're proud of yourselves, Fantastic Four. You're meant to be representing Earth here. But the Impossible Man won't let that ruin his holiday. No Earthling can defy the all-powerful Impossible Man, so he ramps up the fun factor by nicking a car and joyriding through town. When the heroes do eventually catch up, he also ramps up the annoying factor, becoming the heaviest thing in existence and just standing there smug as the thing fails to lift him. Now the army's turned up. Oh, to get the army to back off, Impossible Man, he just shifts into a bomb. Jesus, this escalated, didn't it? It'll escalate now because Reed stretches as far as he can to throw the organic explosive into the atmosphere. But that's not the end of the Impossible Man. He gently glides back to Earth for more holiday fun. There's no rational way to stop him. So let's try something dumb instead. Human Torch swells his flame in such a way that it hypnotizes this absurd alien invader. But the more they engage with the Impossible Man, the more unhinged he becomes. Thankfully, Reed Richards, world's smartest man, comes up with a solution to end the threat for good. Just ignore him. Just like I do with my responsibilities when I want to just read comic books. The Fantastic Four just blank him, mate. They choose not to play his game, and you know what? It works! The little attention seeker can't annoy anyone because they're all ignoring him. Everyone worldwide is told by Mr. Fantastic. Just let him crack on till he gets bored. That's how the Fantastic Four defeat their impossible foe. What was Stan and Jack smoking? Want to know something funny about the Impossible Man? Not only is he quite similar to the Superman villain whose name no one can pronounce, Mr. Mixie's Piddlick, it's canon that they're actually the same being. This annoying imp from the 5th dimension menaces Superman sometimes, but then when he's bored of that, he pops around to 616 to wind up the F4. But just ignoring him sounds well easier than tricking him into saying his own name backwards. This fella was funny for a one-off, but I don't see much returning potential for Impossible Man. He's too powerful for the setting, and now we know how to stop him, we can just do that every time. But hey, he didn't molest anyone. And he wasn't Hitler, so he's probably the second coolest villain we've seen today at least. Well, there we go. Obviously we can't all be Dr. Friggin' Doom, but maybe I chose the wrong villains for this, cause geez. Red Ghost seems like he could be cool, but the rest left a bit to be desired. But please bear in mind, these 4 were only 4. The Rogues Gallery of Reed, Sue, Ben and Johnny does have some other class acts. Like the Molecule Man, he's bloody terrifying, mate. The world is his plaything. The Wizard and the Frightful 4, a cabal of criminals out to destroy our heroes. Though I wouldn't count Sandman as Fantastic Four really, he's squarely Spidey's bad guy, innit? The very best story from the Fantastic Four is obviously Galactus, absolute masterpiece there. Honestly, from what I've read, the Fantastic Four seems to boost up Marvel not through villains, but through world building. Wakanda debuted in F4, Galactus, as I said, the Inhumans, although whether that's a good thing, I don't know. So it doesn't really matter if the Fantastic Four's bad guys are all lackluster, because their contributions to the world are anything but.